It looks that way. We have Kingdanzz and Widderson over on the left. That's Team Abrasiert. They're up against Pi² divided by 6 on the right. That is BerntDasBROT and Aviator. And yeah, I certainly think this is going to be a close match. I really can't call it either way. I would love to see BerntDasBROT and Aviator take home the trophy, though. It's always about cheering for the underdogs with me.
I want them to win, because if they win, then I can say I lost to the best team in the tournament. So, what can I do?
Excellent.
Oh,
well, folks at home, ladies and gentlemen of Twitch chat, here it is, the grand final of the October Nova Cup. Abrasiert versus Pi² divided by 6. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to see 2 cartels already, looking at AOA and Overwork in the game.
Yeah, there is GA2 though. So I still think it's very good, but at least there's some form of defense on the table.
Yeah.
So let's see. Or Kingdanzz just has a
Juicy
crazy roll. Yeah. The only issue is that it's not too great against incredibly big sense on 11. And that always makes me feel a little bit iffy playing those roles in games with these spells.
For sure.
Yeah, you can just have a very, very good early game and then just lose the game on 11.
Yeah, you can just get stage rammed on 11 and you just don't have an answer to it in his current role. He's also used his reroll immediately, by the way, so he won't have an answer to that siege ram on 11 if that is coming.
Oh,
never mind.
No mind. He does have an answer. His roll is just perfect.
This is the second time he's playing it today in the semis. He also
well,
third time actually, if you count a ranked game.
I mean, that's why Kingdanzz is the GOAT of this game, right? He is just capable of pulling these things off in situations where it matters. Like, he's just entering the finals and instantly rolling Porta Mask with Ranger and Core.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting, actually.
Honestly, everyone has a pretty juicy roll.
Yeah, that's true.
Little Nightmare Oathbreaker. Witter's got his little Butcher, Kingpin, Sovereign.
Yeah, Widderson's early game is maybe a little bit fiddly, I have to say. But certainly if he gets past, once he gets his Kingpins online and gets past the mid-game spike, he's going to have a really good late game. He just needs to get there, because he might struggle a bit if he gets pressured in the early.
Yeah, that's true. I still feel like Kingdanzz roll is by far the very best. It's like Nightmare Chain Fist, but that's kind of all.
Yeah, he has roll is absurd.
Aviator, yeah, he has a good roll.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not close. So let's see how this works out for them.
Yeah. Everyone's sending besides Aviator because he king ups.
I think Kingdanzz may even go 7 workers here on wave 3. He does.
Yep.
Yeah. So Aviator sent that king up on 2, which just takes the pressure off of King, knowing he'll be able to add False Maiden on 4. He just safely pushes to 7 workers, and he's going to snowball hard this game.
Oh yeah, I really like that play too. Like, it's not even a huge risk. Like, he will be perfectly fine on 4.
And
Ofma, full sends.
Ofma pointing out the 4 Pi² build in Aviator's lane. So it's a lot of arcane HP. Is it enough to hold against 3 snails here on wave 3? We're about to find out. I feel like it should be.
It should be, yeah. I think so, at least.
And it looks like BerntDasBROT got pretty good aggro with his Nightmare Oathbreaker. This looks like either a hold or a very small, like, lizard-only leak.
Yeah, it looks like lizard only.
But even with 4 Pi²s, Aviator still leaks. I feel like the Gatling gun just doesn't have the power level that it used to have a patch or 2 ago.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised about that. It even got a buff recently.
Well, here comes Dino. I mean, Aviator can't even send King anything. So he's just going to run away with these workers.
Yeah, Aviator's not even bothering.
This build leaks pretty bad if you actually do get a reasonable send, but it's not coming.
Yeah,
unless it's like a post-income Dino, but I don't really think Aviator would do something like that.
What would he need to receive Ofma to leak?
Pretty sure it's just 100. And like double DT Snail or Fiend's DT.
Oh yeah, then
pretty messy.
Then it gets destroyed, yeah.
But I mean, he's gonna eat good with those 7 Workies.
Oh yeah, definitely. The thing is, it's just gonna be a little bit rough for King to transition to the point where he actually has tanks on his lane.
Yeah.
The Dino is down for Widderson.
Yeah.
He's going for a bit of a leak, but this is fine, honestly. Against the 100 send, 42%. He's not particularly ashamed about that result, I don't think.
Yeah, that's true. I kind of feel like if Aviator sends King on 5,
it could work.
It could work because
Cannoneer. I've fallen victim to that myself.
Yeah, also because like King just doesn't have tanks, but he knows, and he's adding the veteran here.
I mean, it's kind of the only tank he can build, but it's not really going to help him out on wave 6.
He's getting mimicked on 6, probably.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way.
Yeah, he's already minus 140, so he will get punished for this push in the end.
Yeah, let's see if he can punish Burnt, because he built only Oathbreakers, which are great on 5, but less great on 6.
I mean, we're focusing on the send that King's going to receive, but he has a little bit of Mythium himself, by the way.
Yeah, he can definitely punish Burnt.
Okay, Mimic, Roots for the Abrasiert.
Alright. So I'm pretty sure Julian should leak decently, even with his second Nightmare here. I mean, he kind of lacks damage, but he also kind of lacks tanks, because the Oathbreakers are going to make quick work of those... the Brutes, will make quick work of the Oathbreakers, I should say. I think that should be a big leak on Burnt. We'll have to see what happens with this Mimic into Kingdanzz. I feel like he has a chance to kill all the Roccos, depending on how the Priestess focuses.
I really don't think so. I think everything's gonna die too fast for that to happen.
To the left as well, and all on the Azure.
The Mimic is very quickly on the red mask.
I mean, it's actually pretty good for him, right?
Yeah.
But I'm more curious about the lane of
85% on King. If we go over to Burnt, he's actually doing better than I expected. Kills that 4th Rocco.
Not true.
Leaking just 46%. Aviator, he's leaking as well, though, 24.
Yeah.
Widderson, meanwhile, the only player it looks like who's holding. So well played, Mr. Withers, able to cover a bit of his teammates' leak as well. So we will see more King damage dealt to the side of Pi² divided by 6. And meanwhile, if we have a quick look over on the left, Widderson, how are you doing, my friend? It looks like you're killing every Rocco.
I guess being overvalue actually helps with holding.
Yeah, you would have thought.
It's quite a revolutionary concept.
That's a lot of gold, though. 15 gold on that Mimic, so Aviator does get rewarded a little bit from that send, so...
Yeah, and he's 10 workers now, same with King. Okay, they both just went to 11. I'm surprised he's playing so risky with his... Like, he's not actually strong here at all.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
I guess he doesn't expect the re at all.
No, and he will be rewarded because there is no resend coming. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. If Aviator had gone for any kind of resend, I think Kingdanzz probably would have leaked decently, even with the Tantrum Mask. But as it is, he will be rewarded for this 11 worker push.
Yeah, the question is, will he punish for that on the upcoming wave or on wave 9?
Yeah. Okay, income here for Julian. I think he's incoming for his doppel.
Yeah, he shifted for it. Shifted like 110 gold for that.
I mean, he's really hoping he gets a send.
Alright, here come the income sends from Widderson and Burnt, full sends from Aviator and King. So a bit of an interesting split send there. We have...
The Mole versus the Night Mix.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. And actually, it's not just a nightmare. Burnt gets his doppelganger here on wave
Super
8.
nightmare.
Yeah, he should be doing quite fine, I feel, against the Mole Send. Meanwhile, though, Aviator's Mimic Send against Kingdanzz, I feel like is going to get some real work done, actually.
Yeah.
He's not holding anything. Well, he's going to kill some stuff, obviously, but the Mimic is going to eat good again.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of extra gold as well for Aviator, I'm sure. Ah, he's missed the first couple.
Tragic.
There's a +3, there's a +3, there's a +3.
And another one.
And another one. Now the Mimic just doing
it kills
its thing.
quite a bit, actually. The Mask did a really good job.
But now it's a leak, 72%. Meanwhile, Burnt does just barely hold. Aviator actually leaking the income send from Widderson.
Yeah, he is getting punished for his 11 worker push.
Yeah, AB pushed to leak King, which is fair.
Yeah, but he leaks not that much less, even though he received income.
Yeah, and Widder is just the cover god this game.
Yeah, I mean, he got his Kingpin with lifesteal. And now he's in a very good spot to push. Look at him pushing to 17 workers.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I wonder
and he
if
got his Kingpin power spike. This is what we were saying. He had a little bit of a slower roll in the early game, but as soon as he gets that Kingpin online, he can go to the moon, and he is setting off already, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, his income is actually not even behind everyone else. I mean, he is cartel, to be fair, but
so
now with 17 workers, yeah, he's definitely in a good spot.
Now, Aviator does receive a full resend here from Widderson, the Dino Brute. Let's see if that creates another leak. He does have Antler and 2 Mudmen, so I feel like he should do just fine.
Yeah,
He's also got the plus value.
Yeah, with +10, I would expect
stealing the Widder technology.
If we have a quick look over at Kingdanzz, actually, the Dino King upsend is causing trouble for the King. 33% leak there just to income.
Yeah, he built for 10, which is fair. Looking at his build, he's kind of horrible both ways. So
yeah, I'm looking at Aviator's lane being +10 was actually not enough.
It seems like it was not. 25% leak for Aviator. Importantly, though, this was a full send from Widderson.
Mm-hmm.
True. He added a brute.
He did add a brute.
They're thinking of... I gotta say, everyone's probably thinking about something longer, but I mean, Widder's trying to snowball his income with his pins. He doesn't believe he can be leaked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, if it was something longer, it's probably 13 against Aviator and Bernt.
Yeah. But honestly, King needs to send for his Azeria, probably.
Yeah.
At this rate, he's... Oh, he goes for the piggy here.
And Widderson is just absolutely committing himself to this snowball game plan. He's income sending every round. So that will take a bit of pressure off of Aviator. Maybe he can apply the pressure back on King in return. But if left unchecked, Widderson is just going to be huge as we move into this mid-game period.
Oh, yeah.
It's the strongest period for sure. I mean, the Sovereign and the Kingpin combined, like, really low waves, especially with Sovereign being a lot better on 15 than it used to be.
Yeah, I think King will
King actually leaks no send here as well, by the way.
That's so close. It's like one hit.
That's not
They are aggressive spells in the game, so there is the income send.
Okay, now this may be a turning point because we see the income sends come out from Kingdanzz and Widderson. We see the save from Bernt and Aviator, who also take the all-out assault. So this send is going to be massive when it does come. But do we think they go straight wave 13, or what is this?
It's tough to say what the best wave is. I mean, they could go 12. It's really only one pin. But, I mean, like, Azeria is impossible to leak on. Like, it's going to be roughly the same strength on every wave.
Yeah.
Tough to find the right one, for sure, I think.
I mean, they're receiving a send here, so according to the law, it would be illegal to send them on 12.
Yeah.
But I have to say, like, 12 looks pretty decent, but I can also see 13, like...
yeah.
I think 12 is really hard. Like, there's a Guardian Angel lifesteal Kingpin for Widderson. Like, it's doable, but it's really hard.
Yeah, you might not get enough reward.
Yeah, but I mean, you send 2 4-eyes and then there's just not too much damage, I guess.
Ooh, a Pro League from Aviator. Wait, is it a Pro League?
Oh, it's close. It is!
Ooh.
Imagine if he was Fiesta.
What a clean Fiesta.
I wonder what sort of response this prompts.
I mean, surely they're sweaty enough to save. Yeah.
Yeah. Both sides holding their nerve, I mean.
These sends are going to be absolutely enormous when they come from Burnt and Aviator. They have 500 plus Mythium each.
Looking at their values, it has to be 13. Like,
Yeah, the thing is, Aviator is not planning to hold 13 himself.
No.
Yeah.
And I don't think Burnt's going to do very well there himself. Like, he's full fortified, and all of his carry units are Pierce.
Yeah, he found the Mudman, which was great for 11, but
less good for 13.
I guess his best bet is to add gates, right? Like, the Doppel is just a tank by that point.
Yeah.
It's not gonna smurf down the wave.
Kingdanzz finally showing his Millennium as well, by the way.
That's just nasty.
That is nasty. Alright, here comes the send. There's double 4-eyes from Burnt. There's an Org from Aviator. He has 400 Mythium left over. Let's see what else he adds.
Go for the double Ogre to try and snipe the Aziria.
A Kraken.
Oh.
Okay.
That's a bigger Ogre.
A bigger Ogre. A big blue Ogre.
I kind of don't like this too much. I don't know. It's just gonna chill in the split while the Azaria and the Doomsday are just gonna molest the wave.
Yeah.
He had 660 in income. He could have double rammed, honestly, if he was feeling so inclined.
Double ram, I think, would have been really nice, actually. Really, really nice.
I feel like that's way better, yeah.
Because I believe that this Kraken is going to end up getting kited for days by the masks of Kingdanzz.
I mean, double ram would just kill the side.
It is tanking the Aziria, though. And that does mean the Aziria is going to go down very quickly because she's not defending herself. It is GA.
That's the GA.
Yeah, but now everything's on the Doomsday.
Huh?
Yeah, that's a bit of a leak.
This is pretty good aggro, I think, for King. He's going to leak, but this is about as good as he could have hoped for. 157%.
Yeah, I'm not sure how good I think this aggro was for him.
And Aviator's leaking full, Widderson's leaking 100%, Burns' leaking 60%. This is still a lot of damage, but I think Pi² are going to survive this. I'm not so sure for the side of Kingdanzz and Widderson. Abrasiert.
Got a few King attacks at least, but
and it's pretty close.
Then
it is indeed pretty close.
Right side down to 25%, but left side they are down to 0%. It looks like, and that is a game 1 victory. Very, very close there. But Burnt and Aviator, they take the lead in this grand finals best of 5.
Yeah.
Very nice.
What a game.
Widder was going to regret putting the GA on the Kingpin there.
Yeah, true.
It's unfortunate, obviously, because he expected 11 to be the problem, but...
That was such a nice play, actually, from Burnt and Aviator. They just really put the starve on. This was a 8 or 9. There was a 9 resend from Aviator. So 8 or 9 into 13 with all-out assault. Massive send, 760 for both players. And it was just an overwhelming amount that Kingdanzz and Widderson could not hold. And it just barely killed them, actually. That last drill golem just taking off the King's HP before it died itself. So very, very close game. But well played, Burnt and Aviator. They're now 1-0 ahead in our grand finals.
Yeah, and by quite a convincing performance. I think it was, the other team kind of allowed them to do that, like with very high pushes into scaling income cents, and they did get punished for that. I'm curious if they're gonna mix it up a bit. Like, the rolls were very good to scale, but I don't know. They didn't work out in the end.
Yeah, they had a chance to live, I guess, if they made the read to go Income King. But I mean, that's kind of impossible to think to Income King when you just saw them save on 11 as well. Like, you really don't want to give them away to save even longer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I think they were probably scared of a big 11 send themselves, right? Because Burnt and Aviator still had 400 plus Mythium after taking the all-out assault, so it would have been pretty dangerous for them to save there and then receive a 400 Mythium send. Like, I think King and Widderson can still take massive damage on 11 in that case.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true.
It's just a tough position that they were put in, like a massive amount of pressure coming from the side of Burnt and Aviator, who released it all on 13 with this killer blow, like a one-hit kill, 760 Mythium, just way too much to hold on wave 13.
Yeah.
So very, very nice play. Very nice.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ofma, that it's hard to make the call to send income there on 13, because you also see how pushed Julian and Aviator are.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were so under on 12 already.
Yeah.
So it can feel like the best the best move.
Right.
Bless you.
It is time to announce the winner of the Safety Mole Twitch chat giveaway, it seems.
Ooh.
So let me close the entries. And it's time to pick our winner. We have 46 entries. Good luck, everybody. And the winner of the very special Safety Mole plushie, plus all of the in-game goodies, is Havin McDump. Excellent name. What a good name to win the Safety Mole plushie. It's Havin McDump. Congratulations to you, sir.
It's not me. That's
It's
rigged.
not you.
That's absolutely rigged.
Absolutely rigged. So congratulations, Havin McDump. If you make sure that you send me a little DM in Twitch chat or Discord if you have me on Discord, and we will sort out all the details you need to claim your prize. Congratulations to you, sir. I hope the Safety Mole keeps you warm at night.
Congratulations.
We are ready for game number 2. So, Abrasiert, can you bring this one back? You're currently 1-0 behind to Aviator and Burnt. And let's be honest, I would really like to see Aviator and Burnt win the trophy this month. But at the same time, I want it to be a hard slog for them. I want King and Widderson to at least give us the full 5 games for the best of 5 series. I'm sure that's what the viewers at home want as well. So let's see as we go into game number 2. Abrasiert versus Pi² divided by 6. Let's get it on.
So no more cartel for Aviator, no more cash out for Burn.
Cool.
We're gonna see
Well, when we see Fiesta on Burn.
I'm down.
I would definitely be down too.
Greed.
Castle.
Chaos. No
Chaos.
pawn shop.
There's no pawn shop. Okay. So
that's.
I think he's just trying to get the mental edge. He's receiving sends from Julian. He's picked Chaos. He just wants to tilt his opponent.
Yeah. Absolutely Giga Brain play.
Pretty fat, yeah. You gotta know your opponent and play to that mental edge.
Yeah. Julian has a
a
decent YOLO roll. It's not the best, but it's certainly playable. Aviator now on the Greed, which is his old staple. You know, he pretty much played exclusively Greed on the ladder, at least for the early part of the season.
Yeah, that's true.
He has a reasonable AoE roll, or just some Wildstream stuff if he would prefer to not play AoE.
Yeah.
I mean, does Aviator play AoE rolls?
I actually haven't seen him play one.
Yeah, I can't really remember having seen.
Oh?
And what? Maybe this is a first. I mean,
snails.
Isn't it just the best time?
2 snails against 2 risky openers. This is a spicy start to game number 2.
It's kind of Tommy sus.
Yeah.
Widder is so doomed because he's castle. Like he's gonna build like something that
he's already 5 workers.
I think Widder's just in trouble to like a snail or 2 resend on 2, right?
Yeah, and Aviator's playing flower, so he will have a good push.
And King won't be much better because his chaos roll has only given him Pi² and Angler as playable units on wave 2.
Could be worse, I guess. Yeah, there's 40, or yeah, there's 40 if Aviator wants to send it.
But Aviator and Burnt not resending on wave 2, which is a shame because it would really punish them, I feel.
Oh, actually, Widder has enough for Fire Archer.
Okay, then he should be okay.
Am I good at math?
Anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And King got his anglers. So for now, they're okay.
Aviator having a very nice AoE roll indeed, and getting fed hardcore by Kingdanzz. It looks like he's just easily pushing 7 workers here.
Yeah.
Off this Snail King up on wave 2. Burnt unfortunately has to stay on 5 with his slightly slower Berserker opener. But let's see when this next send comes, because Kingdanzz actually looking pretty vulnerable, but he did manage to skillfully Chaos roll the Green Devil. So let's see if there is a wave 3 send coming or not.
I mean, I think
There's not.
He's just building the casket, no? Yeah, he is.
He also had casket. I didn't see that far up his roll.
Yeah, I feel like it's better than building 3 gargoyles.
Yeah.
And he should be fine with that. Against no send, especially.
Pressure, maybe, for Widder?
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
it is.
looks like it is.
There
It's
it
quite
is.
high, that Crusher.
I think it's like a square to a high, maybe, but...
But there's a
Yeah, it's his
3
plans.
snail send against Burnt, which he should be able to snack on. And if we have a look at Aviator, of course, able to hold the 1 snail resend with his 7 workers, so he's really loving life at the moment. Does Burnt even leak this? Because this, if he does, would actually be massively in their
Pro
favour.
League, maybe.
Where do you think they will send? The issue is with Kingdanzz showing the casket, he's pretty safe on wave 4.
Yeah,
Because-
true.
Well, you can still try it, right?
Like, if you upgrade the casket, you just 2-shot the wave.
Yeah,
It's-
but there's a chance it dies, is the only thing.
Is
Before
a
the second
chance.
cast? With
Is
a
a
big enough
chance.
send, obviously.
This wave is so long while they have 7 workers each. Okay, here comes the send. There is
Dino
Dino
Snail,
Snail.
Brute. Okay, that's not very nice.
Brute is
Oof.
not very nice. 2 Brutes,
Yeah,
even less
that's
so.
gonna be tragic
Yeah.
on Widderson's wave.
Okay, Kingdanzz, what do you do? He has 125 gold. He goes for the Bounty Hunter. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
He's very high value, 435.
Yeah, but he does not have the very best units here.
He does not, and importantly, he didn't upgrade the casket,
Yeah.
which means obviously a lot less
Yeah.
AoE damage against the wave 4.
Yeah, like,
Casket is
even
now dead.
unupgraded, it was close.
Yeah, it was close
had
to-
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
So...
So Widderson going for a bit
Yeah,
of a leak
the
against the
wave.
double brute, that's 65%. Kingdanzz is doing very, very well. I will say that
Yeah,
casket
yeah.
that he added on 3 did enable him to clear a lot of the chickens and ignore the dino for a very long time. So the
Yeah,
AoE
he's
coming in pretty clutch, and he just holds.
Yeah, he's just fine. Yeah, the casket, rolling the casket was just absolutely skilled. That's why he's the GOAT of the game. Like, in these types of situations, he just rolls what he needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they got the myth advantage. See what they want to do with it.
There's
Ooh,
a
some more
resend
income.
coming out from Aviator and Burnt. Starting
What
to
is
feel
Avi
pressure.
gonna build? Okay, Wildshroom? Or maybe Oathbreaker. Yeah.
Oathbreaker indeed, yeah. Burnt has 176 to play with. He goes for a Butcher. I think that's pretty standard procedure here. But the send isn't coming here. And the fact that they skip 5, I feel like it's just going to be 7 or even 8 now. Like a really long save. That's
Yeah,
just how
7
I'm
or 8
feeling
is
this
definitely
game's going to
looking
pan
good.
out.
Maybe a nice little GK for Aviator.
Oh, that would be absolutely disgusting behaviour. Alright.
Not as obvious with the send against Julian on 8, but maybe something like Mimic Brutes or something.
Yeah. And Kingdanzz is able to hold against the Lizard Send, but it looks like he would have struggled against anything much more substantial than that.
Yeah.
Widderson likewise, actually, only receiving the 40 income, just
He's
about
gonna
able
leak.
to hold, or is this a pro league?
I think he leaks. The creeps do quite a bit for Archer. Or... Oh, he gets the last
I think
one.
that was very
Easy.
close. I think the Fire Archer can 1v1 a single Scorpion, but 2 was just too much. And yeah, this is really in favour of King and Widderson. Now they have a big Mythium pressure lead.
Ooh, they're going for the brutes to try and undercut.
They're going for the undercut, so
But,
King and Widder. But King didn't push a worker. He kept his
no
gold,
problem.
added the Harbinger, and now he should easily be able to hold against this brute snail resend. Widderson, meanwhile, he gets the canopy, so likewise, I think both players easily going to hold these resends. And they're
now you really can go 8.
They can quite easily go 8, yeah. I mean, they're going to have more than 200 on 7, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see them go there. But if they just want to go for like those Ghost Knights on 8, then this is clearly within their grasp now.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they can send whenever they want.
Yeah, they just don't have any pressure against them. They're both very strong Wave 7 already, with the Harbinger of King, with the Canopy of Widderson. Does Widderson actually hold?
He might even Pro League, but the Canopy had some good time to get retrained.
It's quite close, I would say.
King's easily holding. Canopy's down to below 200 HP, below 100 HP. So it looks like the Brute's too strong, and that is so good for Widderson, actually. He loves to leak a Brute here.
Yeah, that's perfect.
And they say...
And it is gonna be Ghost Knight or Ram on 8.
So King and Widderson clearly sick of being starved themselves in game number 1. They say, you guys can't starve us. We'll show you what a real starve looks like. And this was, what, Wave 3 income into what looks like Wave 8 massive tank send? Yeah. We have the Avenger added here from BerntDasBROT. So he would have been pretty strong on 7, but the send is not coming on Wave 7.
And after catching that Brute, both King and Widder playing really aggressive.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's not going to be another one.
Yeah.
So,
Widderson on 575 value.
I mean, he would have just loved to get a full resend and leak small, I think, so that he can send 300 plus on Wave 8.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Ram on 8, first time.
It's kind of close.
Yeah, I mean, King is very... He's going to get it, yeah, I think.
Oh.
I mean, if this leaks, they're gonna be so happy. But
No, the Canopy out-heals the Wave. That's a siege
was
round.
very close.
And
Ooh,
that's a
Centaur, I
Centaur.
like that. Yeah.
Okay. These sends are just absolutely obscene.
He had the Revan income though, but I prefer this send. Crazy.
This is just absolutely bonkers. And Aviator's doing what he can to try and hold Wave 8, but these Tempests are not going to help him at all against the Siege Ram.
Their values are pretty nice.
The values are nice, but the sends are just obscene. Like, you just can't deal with a Siege Ram on 8. It's not within your capabilities.
Oh yeah. And Kingdanzz has Kingpin now.
Yeah.
Receiving another round of King upgrades.
And the Centaur just making really quick work of Julian's melee units. The Avenger and the Berserker died very quickly. Oh, this is great aggro for Aviator, actually. Getting onto the backline, clearing off a lot of the Cobras. He's nearly killing every Cobra. In fact, he is killing every Cobra. Aviator! Holy moly! I said the Siege Ram is too much to deal with on Wave 8, which is true, but why deal with it when you can ignore it for the entire wave? What a nice kite there! Getting his canopy onto the backline, killing everything but the Ram. That's so clutch for Aviator.
Oh yeah.
In retrospect, there was probably a better send, but it's kind of hard to not send Ram when you have 320 in income.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. It's generally hard to send into this. Maybe it's like just which entities, because like a huge tank will always be ignored.
Yeah.
I think I'm almost even down for just pack mole.
Yeah, I think that's also very, very good.
But just look at these workers now. We have Aviator and Burnt stuck there on 12 workers, while Kingdanzz has 17. and Widderson on 15 as well. So this is a pretty sticky situation now for the Pi² boys. How do they come back into this one?
They cover each other somewhat. Like 10 is hard versus Burn. It's what you would want against Avi probably.
Yeah.
And then 11 against Julian, there's Lone, which helps. But honestly, I think forcing Lone would be a good play.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep, I agree with that.
Broly King?
Oh, Broly King.
Daphne's focusing different units.
Yeah.
Of course.
Daphne's, of course, hard-coded not to attack the same unit.
Yes, the
everybody
god
knows.
Widderson.
Absolute fiesta god.
Yeah, that's very, very juicy. I mean, just look at their Mythium as well with the worker lead. Oh, that is a 10 send. Okay.
Yeah, they were just way too pushed. I think, this wave.
Burnt
Maybe
is
they catch
building
someone
for wave
sleeping?
11.
I think I'd rather see the head shove.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just
I agree.
because he needs some tanks on 11 as well. Or just some bucklers, yeah.
I mean, just look at Widderson's and Kingdanz's value. Like,
Yeah.
they are very, very, very pushed.
They're very, very pushed. Now,
I
if
just
Aviator
say-
and Burnt can hold it, I don't think Aviator can hold
My
the
lord,
the
that
Ogre
is
is just such a
300.
good send against Leviathan.
That's the one wave skip 320 son.
Yeah, he's got some workies. Kingdanzz, he's got a worker or two.
Yeah, how are they gonna
The
go
canopy,
from
though, was
here?
focusing the Ogre, so it goes down very quickly. Aviator, how does he do this aggro?
And Julian?
Julian's just
looks like
holding.
he's easy
Julian's
clapping
holding,
this.
yeah. Julian's quite comfortably holding. He may even be able to bring down that boss of Aviator as well.
And they haven't pushed a single worker, so I think they're going to cred and long save.
They're going to go long, yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be like 14, 15.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
15 looks good.
Granddaddy does reach the Sky King, but deals very little damage. And now, yeah, the pressure is kind of back on the side of Aviator and Burnt.
I mean,
Let's see what they can make.
Knowing Aviator, I think he's probably calling 16, 17 by now.
I wonder if... Nah, okay, I was like, I wonder if King and Widder have the slightest inkling to cred here.
Yeah,
But I think they're down to try and scale their income to hold, because it's a complete all-out play if you're 120 income.
What I think is very interesting is if you look at Kingdanz's build, you wouldn't necessarily know that that's a Chaos build, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Widderson takes the creditor.
I really like it.
The
Because
one, yeah, King is
no-
holding.
Yeah, and like knowing your enemy
Hmm.
is, I think, also a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Like knowing that they're going to get cringed on.
Yeah, and there's no way they're sending 12 into Vamp, APS, Kingpins, so
Yeah.
another free cred for Widder if he wants.
Yeah.
But they'll see here that Widderson's low value, so they have clearly spotted this now for the side of Aviator and Burnt. One other thing worth pointing out, by the way, is that Widderson's playing Castle and now has over 100 income more than both of his opponents.
Totally forgot about that.
Yeah. He's just scaling to the moon now.
Yeah, the famous gaining value, as they save on you.
He's even going to shift for Creditor once more, it seems.
Yeah, I think it's the correct play.
And King, of course, skillfully rolling the Doomsday.
Yeah, obviously protecting 13 and 14.
I don't see any reason why a Chaos player wouldn't roll Doomsday when they're expecting a 13
I mean,
cent.
I also don't see a reason to think that Aviator would be inclined to send 13 already.
Yeah.
Like, they're just chilling with Creditor, just farming it. Like, they feel safe, and as long as they feel safe on Koshi, they're not gonna send.
Yep. But they can't feel that safe, actually, because the save going on this long means Kingdanzz, with his 17 workers, is catching up in income, and they actually go for a full send. Well, a full send on the
King
side
is
of
trying to
King.
leak.
Widderson's just income sending.
Trying to leak Avi for some money, I guess. Catch him creding.
I mean, it's quite hard to leak Julian here.
Yeah, a bit.
He's going to have a Chieftain buffed Royal Guard for tank. He's going to have a Fatalizer and an Avenger with lifesteal to deal damage.
I
And yeah,
like
I
this
think being
decision
consensual.
because you can see Witter's value is just unreal at this
Yeah.
income.
Yeah.
He is scared off his creditor here, so that's something.
Yeah, so they are expecting to send. I'm surprised by that.
But Aviator's going to leak massively here. Like, he just has absolutely no way to hold a send of this size, 460, even though it was them kind of having the pressure lead of sorts. Like, the fact that Kingdanz had those 17 workers already on wave 9 means that this send is still massive.
Oh, yeah.
And that's an 89% leak there for Aviator. And Bernt, he holds, sure, but he's not going to full cover, so this will be more king damage dealt to the side of Aviator and Bernt.
Yeah, maybe putting some pressure that they actually have to send 15 and can't go even longer.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Aviator's already pinging Legion TD3 for when he wants to send.
Yeah, probably Aviator is using an add-on, because right now I can only ping wave 17, but he probably is capable of pinging wave 21 by now, using his very, very own add-on.
Witter's actually overvalued now.
Yeah, like that gave him some more gold.
Yeah.
Ooh, Gate, Ocean Templar, okay.
Very skillful Chaos player.
Oh, he's figuring out the perfect setup. Wait, but don't you need the gate on the APS in the map? I guess the Ocean Templar on the casket would be. Ooh, Witter has APS Doomsday too, I didn't even notice. Nice reroll. He does have a lot of natural armor, so even though he has a lot of value, it's not going to be perfect for the wave if they do go 50.
Yeah. Well, let's see. They're surely starting to feel the pressure for Aviator and Bernt. Their values are super low. 2.3k Aviator, 2.4k Bernt, and they have nearly 800 Mythium each. So are they going to pull the trigger? Will this be a wave 15 send or not?
Didn't they shift? Like this?
Yeah.
These are quite high numbers. I think they're baiting the
I
send.
think they maybe did a little bit of shifting.
They're baiting the send because they want to go even longer. Yeah.
Holy moly, these guys are committed to the cringe.
Exactly. Like, they waited out this send so they can go, I don't know, like, it's kind of rough. I guess they want 17.
I like Julian's arcane tank.
Yeah. And it's his only option. He doesn't have any arcane in his YOLO role, so he's doing the best he can.
Their values aren't high.
And the chieftains are obviously very good on 15, so he can't fault him for that.
Barely no send value.
Yeah. And he's actually getting yes send, so that'll be an interesting one.
The ram is killable with the 4 Leviathan canopies at least.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They've fallen for the bait.
The canopies get a lot of extra damage, plus 54 damage with the Leviathan buff, so that's a pretty nice synergy actually. Maybe one that's often overlooked. And if we have a look over at Bernt, his chieftains are dealing a ton of damage.
It's a pretty ballsy play, though, I gotta say.
Very ballsy play.
It looks like they're both leaking the boss at least, and now they have to send.
Wave 16 send.
I think they decided that if they go 17 on a race, they're gonna lose. I think, or they're just dead.
Yes.
I don't think they die here. Like, wave 15 currently doesn't do any
I
damage.
also think they would die to a resend if they don't send, because they're just not good enough. But yeah, I would expect them to survive here. And
it looks like
King rolled the best unit in the game on 16. Consort.
Consort? Yeah, he is just the luckiest Chaos player alive.
Ooh, and a full re, yeah, good call, Green.
Right, so it is going to come down to a race, and I don't know that Aviator and Bernt are going to win this.
Aviator...
Yeah, he has pyros if he wants to whip them out.
Yeah, he does. Aviator has 1 death cap, but... Like,
here they come.
Like, check their values. Like, it's just such a low amount of value.
4 pyros. Look, he already has full white main tank circle. Like,
this is just insane. And Kingdanzz and Widderson are actually less undervalued than Aviator and Bernt are, and they've been saving since wave 3.
Aviator is below the base recommended value. So I'm absolutely not surprised about the 4% here. It's actually
See
very
if these pirates can do some cooking.
And it certainly looks like they can. Widderson is doing far too well against this 1200 send on wave 16. Kingdanz, he's doing pretty okay as well. Clearly he's going to leak, but it could have been much worse. And Julian and Aviator, starving never pays. It looks like they will die here on wave 16.
It's basically
huge leak from Widder.
Yeah, Widderson.
Yeah, they definitely live, and the other team
is
both
dead.
leave.
The other team definitely do not live.
They're dead.
Well played, GG, coming out from Burnt. Oh yeah, King and Widderson, Team Abrasiert. They do even the series. We will get to see at least 3 games in the best of 5 series.
Yeah, they were kind of ambitious with baiting the 15 cent and not sending there.
Yeah.
I think they expected that to go a little bit better for them.
Yeah. I mean, when did they last send? It was wave 8. They did a wave 8 into 16 send, and Widderson basically held. Like, that's just absolutely mind-boggling. The guy scaled to the moon and back. Kingdanzz, who had 17 workers on 9, his scaling was pretty nice as well. And they just had so much more income than their opponents. Like, they're getting over 100 gold every single wave just from their income, plus the gold from this leak on 13, Ofma, as you said. And they just have so much more resources to play with. Aviator and Burnt, like, even leaking here on wave 15, nearly dying, going down to 5% HP, and then losing the race on wave 16 when they finally do pull the trigger on their 8-wave save.
Just check the recommended value of Widder on 14. He was able to fix his lane by wave 14 through income alone.
Wow.
With castle and just keeping to send. He's just plus 30 there.
I need to say as well, incredible presence of mind from Widderson to take the creditor there. Like, they were getting hardcore starved by Aviator and Burnt. The last send was income on wave 8. And wave 11 could have been a goer. Like, he even took creditor and was minus nearly 400 on 11 because he shifted the full amount there. So if Aviator and Burnt had gone for a wave 11 send, and remember they had a decent chunk of Mythium already there, this could have been really, really dangerous for Widderson. But as you said, Green, he just knows his opponents. Like, he read them. He knows that Aviator and Burnt are going to go for this long starve. So he plays perfectly into that, taking creditor, being undervalued, and just getting a ton of bonus gold so that he can absolutely snowball and just become an unstoppable force. Very well played, Widderson.
That was the deciding factor, I think, because, I don't know, like, sure, King has 2 kingpins, but they're not as good in 11 as people like to rate them. Like, sure, one of them has lifesteal, but I think if they receive a sent on 11, it might really backfire.
Yeah.
And they saved that game from the from the wave 1 tragedy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's actually impressive after being stream sniped like that.
Yeah, very, very sus, Aviator and Burnt, very sus. But I think we should probably get back into game number 3. I'm sure everybody in chat is keen to see how this one pans out because it seems to be one hell of a series already, and there's at least 2 more games to go. This is a best of 5, remember, currently tied 1-1.
Yeah, I'm curious about the masterminds now. Like, no more castle, which was a big part of that victory. I wonder, like, what they're gonna lean towards.
And no more chaos.
Yeah, that's a relief for Julian, probably.
Yeah. I don't even know if he would have realised he was sending into chaos, though, because Kingdanzz only had, like, 3 or 4 different units on his board by wave 11, so...
Yeah, maybe by wave 16 he sniffed it out, but, like, it looked pretty normal.
Yeah. Alright, I feel like we have game number 3 underway, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see which of these 2 titans of Legion are able to take the lead as we go into game number 3.
maybe we'll have a Fiesta this time.
Please?
Do we actually have to beg for it?
There it is!
Yay!
Green, they're definitely stream sniping, by the way, with those snails on wave 1, and now the Fiesta when you asked for it.
Oh yeah.
Cartel,
Really sus.
YOLO.
And the consort opener.
Oh, that's
It's
juice.
I really like this. Like consort, ranger, and porter. It plays itself so incredibly well with Fiesta, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And you can just transition your build so nicely into a normal looking build and not just some random garbage you put somewhere to leak.
Yeah.
And Bernd skillfully rolling Porter Steed with Cartel to go along with Fiesta.
I've got to say, 2 of the perfect units to cover as well. You've got the Consort, which is obviously the best unit on wave 4, 12, and 16, where the Priestess is otherwise weak. And he also has the Berserker to cover that wave 10.
Yeah, I agree. And
It's a very
Aviator
nice
picked
role.
this role in a way that I would have imagined.
Yep.
It's just pretty nice to play it that way, in my opinion. Oh.
Kingdanz's also on Cartel. His role isn't all that, I have to say. Like, he certainly has some early game option. Oh, wow. Okay, the Crusher and the Pack Rat, that's an unusual one, but I'm sure he can make it work.
Yeah, he has the Crusher and the Gargoyle. Wave 4 is a little bit B, but he also has a Bunk, Ocean Templar Gates. Not too horrible.
Here's the Legion spells are very interesting this game, especially with Fiesta Cartel.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the all-out play, like there's loan to counter it, but then there's like you can bait someone to loan and just venture, and then you have a huge lead.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so a lot of nice mind games. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, Widderson was not as lucky with this YOLO. He has some Arcane and an egg.
Aviator goes for that 6-worker play, but he is getting snailed here by Widderson, so maybe Widderson has sniffed out the Fiesta after all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine.
And if you've watched Aviator's like games where he plays Fiesta, he kind of plays like a psychopath. He just pushes. He doesn't really. He like actually doesn't care about holding at all. He just full pushes after Ascend most of the time.
Well, let's see if Burnt holds, because he's receiving a Dragon Turtle himself.
I think he should be fine with just the tier 1.
Let's see, because it's important now. If Burnt leaks, we know that Aviator's leaking, so they can take quite some king damage if Burnt doesn't hold his own lane, but it looks like he's completely fine. Priestess, after all, one of the strongest, if not the strongest opening in the game currently.
I think Lizard might have better odds of leaking Codon too.
Yes.
But he gets to cover now, and they have a bajillion myth.
And they're both on 6 workers, so that send there from Kingdanzz into Julian's Priestess build onto kind of just feeding him. And look at the size of these sends. That's a dino. It is currently wave 3. Kingdanzz, how do you deal with a dino? He goes for Fire Archer, which is fine, but Aviator can add a snail if he wants, and that would force the dino into the Fire Archer, absolutely destroying it. So let's see. Yeah. And there is a snail.
Ah! APM God, though.
Yeah. Widderson, he's receiving a brute snail of his own. That's going to be difficult for him to deal with. The dino does go into the Fire Archer, which means that thing is dying very quickly. It is absolutely crushing for him. That dino is just invincible, right? The pack rat certainly can't kill it. Aviator leaks 78% to 2 snails, by the way. We're kind of focusing on the other side at the moment. And as you say, this dino, it just cannot be killed. That's a 93% leak for Kingdanzz. And a 44 for Widderson with a full HP brute. Reaching the king, wave number 3. This is a ton of damage.
Yeah, Widder is not pleased with the aggro because it's RNG.
I think that always happens, right? With the
no 1 square down.
He put it a whole square down. Yeah, he kept on moving it. My bad. But yeah, the fact that that dino went into the Fire Archer just absolutely demolished Kingdanz's lane.
And we see, like I mentioned, Aviator just suicide pushed because he built the second consort on 3.
Yeah, the psychopath, like you said.
And I mean, he's fine here, right? Like, who would
Well, you
send
leak
him
pretty
there?
badly, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's a risk.
and he just shifts for the quota, so he can just pro-leak next if he receives a send, which he very likely will.
And Julian has the Berserker out, by the way, so he's getting starved by Kingdanzz, kind of. But he just isn't really weak until 7 with his current build.
Yeah, and he's on value, the way we know him.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him do a shift on 6 to get out that Doomsday on wave 7.
Yeah.
Which is just going to be
like
the best possible build path for him there.
Maybe he will... I don't know. Nah, he builds.
Aviator getting a priestess of his very own here. Great on wave 5, and nice that he was able to hold wave 4 with 230 value, by the way, enabling him to shift while having 8 workers. Pretty juicy little combo he has going for him there. So as I was saying, the priestess great here on wave 5, but not great on wave 7, which is where we're expecting the send to come.
Yeah.
I think they were looking for a 6 undercut by themselves, but Widder prepared the Canopy, shifted a little gold, I think.
Yep.
And not sure what King's answer is going to be, but might just be unhunting his rat and being overvalue.
Yeah, the value is pretty strong.
But sounds like a pretty good plan, I gotta say.
Or everyone's going 7.
So I think Burnt and Aviator have already sniffed out the wave 7 send. Expect them both to shift here so they can try and get those Millenniums out on wave 7.
Oh, I thought he was going for a nice block build action. But...
Aviator actually playing it safe. He goes for the Growl rather than the full shift. Or does he? He's yet to make up his mind.
Yeah, I think he's doing this so that the Zero only tanks 2 if 3 go left.
Yeah.
Be rather unfortunate if Zero just dies.
Alright, but Burnt did not shift, which I honestly thought he would do here. Instead, he's added a Mudman, which is great against Mimics. Problem is, I think he's going to receive an Ogre.
Yeah. Tough time.
And
but maybe they're hoping that they can trade back enough.
Well, Widderson actually did not get the Ogre in time. He was 1 or 2 Mythium short of that Ogre. Has to settle with the Mimic. And now, Julian's Mudman actually going to give him fantastic value. It's going to tank that Mimic for a long time. But he's still massively lacking in damage.
This Azaria, I feel like it's not going to tank enough. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, like... These buzzes are kind of too far inside her circle, so I think they will pull. Aviator does get the Millennium out after selling the Grawl, so he should do okay-ish. But let's have a quick look. This Mimic is chewing on the Mudman in Burnt's lane. It did tank for a very long time. It is now down. The Berserker follows soon after. And Priestess at least clears up the left side. Aviator, meanwhile, he is doing well, but will leak. How about this side? Kingdanzz with the banana bunk. He's completely fine. That's a full hold comfortably. And likewise for Widderson, another hold there for him. So, leaks only on the side of Burnt and Aviator. This will be a decent chunk of King damage. It looks like we're going to be pulling roughly even to the damage already dealt to King and Widders.
Yeah, there's a really nice counterplay from King and Widder after that disaster.
Oh, okay, even more King damage dealt, so then down now to 62% versus 66 on the side of King and Widderson. Jules giving them a 60% chance to win the game. I think that's probably about accurate from this point.
I think King is gonna... Aviator's making the read that he's gonna just full hunt. Oh, never mind.
Aviator's adding King upgrades.
He's indecisive.
I think if Aviator had full scent here, this could have been a pretty big leak.
Yeah, he goes for the King.
But he goes Dino double regen. The Dino's doing its thing, keeping the bunk away from the wave for now. But the Green Devil's still very good tanks.
Yeah, that's true. It should still be a small league.
I think he's doing pretty fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still be a small league.
Yeah. Now Aviator kicking himself. If he'd sent full here, this would have been a huge leak on the King. Like, can you
Yeah,
imagine just
Hermit.
a Hermit and 2 Snails? This would have been a pretty full league.
Let's see what they choose to do with their best. The Aviator gave up some of his pressure for the income. Maybe just 10
More
for
income
them?
from Aviator. King and Widderson continue to save. Probably they have their eyes on wave, let's say wave 12, because Burnt and Aviator, they're obviously going to have their Azerias for 11, and Aviator in particular looking vulnerable on 12.
There's absolutely nothing Widder could build for this. Oh, never mind, he rerolled. Okay, now he can build. Avenger, maybe.
Yeah, that's quite a
possibly.
fortunate reroll there for Widderson, actually.
Yeah,
he goes with the Fire Lord.
Yeah, prepping better on 11,
Yep.
where there's AoE.
Kingdan's very low value, but this is only an income send, so he should be completely fine. Let's have a look then at Widderson. His Fire Lord does go down relatively quickly,
Unfortunate.
but he's already killed one of the 2 brutes, and the canopy
Yeah,
is
he's
very,
like
very good.
for damage.
It looks like he's doing just fine to me. He probably leaks small, but that's just more time for their ongoing Mythium save.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
wonder what they're thinking. Like, Aviator went for the Azeria, so obviously weaker on 10, but Julian,
Yeah.
I'm assuming, has enough for Feta? Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
especially if he sends us when sells like a couple buzzes.
It feels like Kingdan's really had the measure of Aviator in this game. Like, even though Aviator's sending him every wave, he's treasure hunting every wave, King was minus 220 value on the previous wave. If Aviator had full sent him, and the same on wave 8, right? We saw the Dino send cause a leak. If Aviator full sends against King on wave 8 and 9, he's probably leaking really, really badly. But because he kind of reads Aviator very well, he knows he's going to go for that greedy income play, and he's just abusing that. He's being very, very low value on King, and reaping the rewards.
Yeah, he's playing really excellently against the income.
Now here comes this full send. We do have a Fatalizer on Burnt and a double Harden. I think he can do well. Centaur's pretty solid against Fatalizer, but Fatalizer is just so absurd on wave 10. It's the perfect unit. Meanwhile, for Aviator, it looks like a bit of a leak.
Not quite enough.
Not perfect enough, you're right.
And Julian is just gonna be out of the game after this.
He's kind of dead.
Cartel's got a hit.
Yeah, he really is, actually. So Kingdanz is on Cartel as well, but he has 41 income more than Julian does.
Yeah, like check the income compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
At least he can venture.
At least he can venture.
Gonna be fine, Copium.
Yeah, I mean, I think AoE 12 is a reasonable play for Widder and King. Like, this looks pretty juicy.
Yeah,
they're both pushing really hard. I think they might go for it. No,
yeah,
Aviator and Burnt go for the...
yeah, I like that.
Everyone goes for the all-out. Okay.
I really like that.
Kingdanz? He's going into wave 11 with 1,110 value.
I mean, they wanna finish the game next wave, right?
I mean, Burnt and Aviator could go for a cheeky post-income send and most likely win the game.
They're both pro leaking here, right? Am I crazy?
I mean, Widderson's not going to cover.
Looks like it.
He has a hunt. They are post-income sending. They're going post-income for it. This might just be game winning.
Wow.
No, this will save them.
Yeah, the Neko's definitely going to save them. Look at this. What a read there. What a Hail Mary from Burnt and Aviator with these post-income all-out 4-eyes, while Kingdan's on 1,100 value, wave 11, and his value's in gates as well. So when those gates get steamrolled, they don't even get the value that you paid for them.
They're dead,
Widderson, 105% leak. Kingdanz, 129% leak. Burnt and Aviator, have they just snatched this victory from the jaws of defeat? I think they have.
Yeah. I mean, that's a really good play. It's kind of like playing to the outs.
The well-played GG comes out from Burnt. What a surprise offset to this game. Man, that is unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree. They just read that they're not gonna win on 12 against them, so I really like the play.
They were so far behind. They were so far behind. They got absolutely mollered on that wave 7 send, where King and Widderson both held the try-hard brute send. Then on wave 10, their king going down to just 13% HP, but they make the mother of all reads, knowing Kingdanzz. He's been greeting every single wave so far. He's got away with it on wave 8. He's got away with it on wave 9. Does he get away with it on wave 11? He does not. I almost think that Aviator was maybe drawing Kingdanzz into a trap with these constant income sends, like allowing Kingdanzz to get away with unreal levels of greed and then just hyper punishing it here with a crushing defeat on wave 11.
Yeah, that was strange.
Kingdanzz and Widderson. Oh,
I just don't like, his value was just like way too low for like what I felt like even what he was going for.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way that he holds against no send there, right?
Yeah, it just... I mean, like, the vision of, like, killing them 12, thinking that they will overbuild for it, like, I see it, but I feel like you could have killed them if you just didn't hunt his rats, put up a little more value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, man,
I guess he just went for the complete all-in because Julian was the stronger one on 12.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, what an absolutely unbelievable ending to game number 3 here. That was just incredible levels of play from Burnt and Aviator, taking a very well-deserved 2-1 lead now in the series.
Yeah, and they got their win with Fiesta.
Yeah, they did. So that's Fiesta out for Aviator, Cartel out for Julian, but he still has Fiesta available to him as well. So let's see what the players decide to go with as we move into game 3, because this is everything to play for now. Sorry, game number 4. Burnt and Aviator are on match point. They only need one more win to seal the deal, while King and Widderson, they need 2 wins to take this one home. Let me find my clown mask to add a little hype here. Right.
What are you planning to do with your mask?
I'm just wearing it as a hat for now. It's far too hot to wear it on my actual face, especially while casting.
Yeah, and Widderson giving them some praise.
Yeah, reasonable. I mean, it was a pretty good call.
Just Aviator things.
So Julian is confirming that was an Aviator read, and it absolutely was game-winning, so well played there to Mr. Aviator. And I'm certainly excited to see what happens now in game number 4. Which of these teams is going to take it? Is it going to be a 3-1 victory for Pi² over 6, or can Abrasiert even the score once again? What do you guys think? Have you got any favourites?
I've won a game 5.
Yeah, I also want a game 5, so I'm rooting for King and Widder here.
I'm rooting for game 5 as well, so hopefully Abrasiert are not too shell-shocked after that crushing defeat in game number 3. Hopefully they can keep their cool and bring the series back to a tie.
Yeah, I mean, they had the lead, they just made a bit of a misstep.
You can't, yeah, I was going to say, you can't really call it a misstep, it's more of a good read from Aviator, but I think there's no way around Kingdanzz being on 1100 value. It just feels like a mistake. But guys, enough of game number 3. It's time for game number 4. Let's get it on.
YOLO from Aviator, YOLO from Widderson. What? That is a YOLO roll.
Yeah?
Nothing for wave 8, but...
That's a very solid YOLO roll from Widderson, actually.
Oh my
and
god.
Burnt on YOLO as well. All 3 players having perfectly playable YOLO rolls.
RP maybe?
Yeah. Isn't that good, the roll from Widderson? Yes, Flower Aqua, but that's kind of it.
He's basically fine for the first 7 waves. Like, he'll struggle on wave 8, obviously, but...
He's got something for 10 at least, kind of.
And he can just re-roll by the time he gets to wave 7 or 8, right? You just keep the bonus YOLO income for the first 7 waves, and then when you need a unit on wave 8, you just press re-roll and get something like an Infiltrator.
Yeah, King has an insane late game roll. He's got Butcher Hero Gates.
Yeah. Yeah, with the Berserker as well.
Yeah, and Mudman for tech value.
Yeah, he's got a
Not
really
sure
nice
if we're
roll.
gonna see the. Oh my god, Julian is just cheating.
Oh, Julian re-rolling his YOLO roll. He wasn't happy with what he was given on wave 1. Re-rolls it into Nightmare, Butcher, Oathbreaker with Dark Mage, with Chieftain for wave 15 tech. I think, yeah, he's got a pretty solid roll now.
Yeah, with an antler as well.
Yeah, just for good measure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you can be pretty happy with that one.
See if the double nightmare hurts them.
Yeah, I mean, they'll have
But
the
they
same...
have more diverse builds after the nightmare, so should be okay.
And Nightmare as a carry, obviously it has weak waves on 5 and 8 and 11, but they both have solid answers, or good enough answers for those waves, like Oathbreaker, one of the better units to pair with Nightmare for wave 5, and Aviator has something like an Infiltrator to cover him on wave 8, and Julian has a Chieftain for wave 11, so yeah, I think they certainly have options.
This early game feels the most normal out of the 3 games we've had.
Yeah, nobody's pushed up to 10 workers yet on wave 2. This is certainly the slowest paced opener that we've had so far in this series. Although Widderson does go 6 here, but of course he's playing Flower Aqua. That's to be expected.
Nice guy that Kingdanzz is, lets everyone get 40 besides himself.
Yep. Oh, Widderson actually going straight to 7 workers. The Flower Aqua, just such a strong opener, able to really abuse that early game power.
It's kind of doomed here.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. He just rerolls an Infiltrator.
Yeah, no problem.
That's
also,
why he's the king.
White main, Lifesteal Gate. No problem.
No problem. I guess he dropped the Sea Dragon because that was his original plan for this wave.
Yep. And Aviator could not afford the snail to go with his Dragon Turtle, which means an easy hold for Widderson despite having 7 workers. Or maybe he just leaks the turtle, which is even better because they are saving their own Mythium.
Oh yeah.
Kingdanzz now having 69 Mythium. Very nice there for him. He is leaking a little bit here to the Lizard from Burnt, but again, that's kind of in his favour because it's a very small leak, and meanwhile he's really stepping up the pressure on Aviator.
And you saw that Aviator pushed the 6 workers to no send? Which is the right call, because even if they go straight pipe, you're going to leak anyways, so...
Yeah. Let's see if I was wondering if Aviator would just full shift here and try to do something like an Orchid on 5, but he does not. He's feeling the pressure from King. He adds an Atom, and while that is obviously not a bad unit, it's not quite the same power level as if he did manage to reach Orchid.
Sure. Have to make that call because a player like King also knows that shifting for Orchid is definitely a play, and that he could leak it really hard with, you know, Dino Snail or something.
Yeah, the mind games at this level of the game are just one of the most important aspects, right? Like, it's kind of a given that all 4 players in the game know how to build, they know how to push workers, they know what to send and when, and then it just becomes all about these mind games, like trying to bait out the sends.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this is going to be a 6 send.
Yeah, I think with
a mimic. Oh, no.
It's Imps on 5 now. This is a bit of an old staple which we haven't actually seen for a while. An Aviator who did not shift for that
Julian
Orchid.
really not building Butcher?
I think Oathbreaker is better on wave 5.
Oh, on 5?
Yeah. I think what he's doing is the best option for him for this wave.
Now, Aviator, what are you doing? 150 gold. He goes with a Groll. He doesn't boost his Infiltrator, though.
Maybe thinking it's 6.
And those Imps are just going to destroy the tank value he added there with the Groll. This should be a pretty big leak. His Atom dies as well. It's not a Smurf Atom. That will be a big leak on Aviator. Burnt, how are you doing, my friend? It looks like pretty well is the answer, but I don't think he has enough firepower to full hold.
Yeah, and I
he's
think
also
2
leaking.
brutes are going to the king.
He kills one of the
he got
brutes.
one.
Yeah, so there's 1 brute and 2 imps reaching the king. This will still be a ton of damage here on wave 5. They only have 2 king upgrades.
They're gonna have to try and figure out when they want as well. Maybe just that wave 8.
Yeah, wave 8 looks very promising. Widderson clearly weak there with his AoE roll.
Yeah, maybe he can get out. Ooh,
they just go for income on 6, okay.
See?
Yeah, already down to 60% king HP, so if you're a Kingdanzz Widderson fan, this is definitely the way that you want to see game number 4 starting. They have a pretty solid king HP lead, Jules giving them a 57% win chance.
Yeah. I mean, this resend is nice for Widderson, he didn't push. So now he can get going.
Yeah, Kingdanzz will easily hold the 120 resend as well. He's very high value with a lifesteal Berserker on wave 6.
Yeah, I think Trillian was hoping to catch another shift king here, but nothing to shift for in King's build, unfortunately. Maybe if he had the bunk.
Yeah, but this is just really juicy income send now for Kingdanzz and Widderson. They really let off any pressure that they might have been building on the side of Aviator and Burnt, and King and Widder really can do whatever they want now with their Mythium.
See, Aviator has his double if he wants it, but maybe not here. Prepping 9? Maybe? Not sure what his plan is.
Yeah, I'm also kind of unsure. It's also kind of a weird build, like getting a doppel while you have 2 atoms and no tanks yet. I don't think
Very
he's
messy,
gonna go for it too soon.
Yeah, you're right for sure.
And now King and Widderson both having upwards of 160 Mythium. Let's see if they decide to go for a wave 8 send, or will they save even longer? We're about to find out.
Yeah, I was going to say a pack could actually be very, very good against both of their builds.
And here it is, a double pack leader on wave 8. So Aviator, he will be able to get that Orchid if he wants, which is very strong. You know, he can build the Orchid, he can boost it, it kills the pack leader pretty quickly. But Kingdanzz, is he going to leak here to no send? I think he is.
Yeah, waiting hard again.
What an absolute god.
Pack leader on 8. The good old classic. The good old forgotten classic.
I mean, I think
Aviator is also sending the classic versus AoE.
a mole on 8.
Guy with the little hat.
Widderson still hasn't used his reroll, so this mole is looking pretty deadly against his build. He has 259
Chloropixie Pixie to kill them all.
Yeah, he's fine, right? But King's even boosting and hardening here, so he's feeling a bit of pressure. He's only receiving income from Burnt.
His build is quite weak here, so it's fair enough.
Aviator did not go for the Orchid, he actually went for a Doppelganger. I think the Orchid would have been maybe better here, but I'm not sure if it would have fit his gold as well.
Let's see. Pretty big set.
He kind of has no tanks for his doppel. So.
Exactly, yeah. The doppel's going to go down fairly quickly. It is on the back line, so clearly it destroys the wave 8 creeps very, very quickly, but now the pack leader's on it, and the doppel doesn't even kill the pack leader. My gosh, that's 102% leak for Aviator with a doppelganger.
Both of them.
And Burnt doesn't kill his own pack leader either. 105% leak over there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, if he builds Orchid, Steed, and boosts the Orchid, he would perform there.
And Widderson did very fine against the mole send there. He kited the mole to the right to let his AoE get onto the wave. And Aviator and Burnt, do they survive?
This is nearly...
My god.
2% HP there.
Easy.
Wave 8, by the way.
Well, they're dead if the wind blows the wrong way, so I think King and Widder are just gonna chill with some Mythium and kill them. Maybe 11, maybe...
Yeah, at that point...
I don't know.
Yeah, at that point, you can just chill. Just wait. Even if you leak a little bit at some point, you can just finish them off.
This certainly feels like the most one-sided game of the entire series so far to me. Like King and Widderson just putting on a masterclass here in game number 4.
Oh yeah.
This APS
we've seen a lot of quite getting close to this starts where a team was ahead today, and then with one decision everything turned around.
Yeah.
So this, I wouldn't say this is over yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they were certainly behind in the previous game as well, but they managed to pull that one out of the bag. And
I think Witter's going to donate a shutdown here, even with the Avenger.
Yeah. There's quite a good chance for that to happen.
the King and Widderson, they continue saving themselves meanwhile, so...
I mean...
The obvious answer is 11, right?
But I guess you could also go 13.
Yeah. Shutdown is nice, but it doesn't help you if you just die on the previous wave. Like, it's only 25 gold, right? Yeah, it's only 25 gold.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 13 is safer. But since I said that, they probably are going to go 11, right?
Yeah, that's how it works. 200 against Kingdanzz, who's very low value again, by the way. Maybe Aviator's managed to catch him greeting this time. Or Burnt.
Yeah, he doesn't have the data. Oh, this is some nice damage, actually.
Yeah, Widderson, as you say, he is leaking to the income and regen send from Aviator. Kingdanzz leaks 55%, Widderson leaks 24%, feeds a 25 gold shutdown, and more importantly, perhaps, there's quite a lot of king damage dealt here.
Yeah, it's very nice. And there's good defensive spells, no offensive spells.
Yeah.
Not to say that things are looking up, but things aren't exactly looking worse.
There's a very significant amount of Mythium in the hands of Kingdanzz and Widderson, both staring down the barrel of 350 plus Mythium each. They pick up Hero for King with those white main Hero gates. I definitely expect to see Hero for Aviator and Burnt as well, although Guardian Angel on a Lifesteal Doppel is pretty sweet too.
Zach for Aviator. He's very scared about here. I think he sacked his Atom, actually.
Yeah, he did. He sacrificed.
Yeah.
Oh, he also just manually sacked an Atom as well.
Yeah,
and he's boosting.
I mean, it's pretty useless in this build, right?
Yeah. It looks like it's just going to be 13.
Yeah. Yeah, as you have already called previously, and which I agreed with. So we didn't curse it. Unless...
Is this another donation from Widderson?
Another charitable donation? Yeah, the Fire Elemental died.
What a nice guy.
It looks like another shutdown indeed. Still only 25.
Yeah, he wants to make it close and entertaining.
Here he comes on wave 12.
Wow, we jinxed it, Ofma.
Of course.
I mean, the sends are absolutely huge. I do think Julian has a chance to hold if he reads this correctly and builds for wave 12.
Dark Mage is a good start. Maybe 2 Antlers?
We have a full boost on Aviator, so they are expecting a send here. Please don't shift gold.
There's nothing to shift for, so... Oh, well, the Chieftain is not it, I think. Well, I mean, maybe if it wraps onto the... Buy some time for the double.
Okay, possibly. I mean, the sends are just absolutely enormous. 600 against Aviator, 620 against Burnt. Both of them pretty high value, but... Yeah,
not quite tanking as much as he'd like.
Not tanking as much as he'd like. The Doppelganger now taking the focus of the wave and the 4 eyes, so it's not going to be able to get unlimited lifesteal value. Aviator leaking 101%, Burnt leaking as well. I don't think the 18% King is able to survive this send.
And we have a game 5 on our hands.
We have a game 5 on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Abrasiert absolutely stomping game number 4.
Following the script, you know, delivering the game 5.
Yeah, I think you pronounce the name.
Sorry, I need to whisper more. Abrasiert.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's how King would say it.
Yeah. I mean, Kingdanzz and Widderson just destroyed their opponents this game. Look at this, wave 5 send, already taking off 41% of their King HP, straight into wave 8 with this devastating pack leader send that Aviator and Bernt just very much not prepared for. And then the victory, wave 12, Kingdanzz and Widderson just a clear lead from start to finish, it feels like.
Oh yeah, they absolutely schooled them in this one. But I don't know, like pack leader on 8, it's just such an ancient play. No one thinks of that anymore, right? Like Penny, you're old enough to remember the times. Ofma is still a youngling, not having seen the...
I remember the dark days where pack leaders were sent every wave 8. Like,
it was actually a meta where this happened pretty much every single game against every single build.
It was an interesting one for sure. But I absolutely need to get myself a little drink of water before we get into game number 5 because my voice is on the verge of giving up. So
go ahead.
Let me pop up the plushie video for 1 minute, guys. Exclamation point plushie in the chat. We will be right back in a minute or two with game number 5, the all-important grand final deciding match. So see you in a minute. Don't go anywhere.
See you guys.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mole, for keeping the chat entertained. I am back. Hopefully we have a lobby available. It looks like we do. So let us hop into there. And the all-important, everything to play for, game number 5 should be here very shortly. And it looks like the players are taking the opportunity for a quick break as well. At least Mr. Widderson, everybody else is here.
Yeah, Julian opted out for a quick be right back as well.
That seems reasonable. The players have, of course, been playing some pretty heated games so far. I mean, on the back of the previous performance, it just seems like Kingdanzz and Widderson are leagues ahead of their opposition, but we know that Bernt and Aviator can give them a run for their money. They were in the lead, of course, twice already in this series. So, what do you guys think? Like, is this going to be a bit of a reverse sweep for Kingdanzz and Widderson, or will Bernt and Aviator have what it takes to be our October champions?
Well, it's a tight series so far, so in my opinion, it could go either way.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I got no clue.
Yeah, both teams have shown they're capable of taking games off the other team.
Yeah.
Like, Julian has proven that he actually is carryable by Aviator.
Yeah, he's not too heavy. Like, he maybe shed a couple of pounds before the series, you know. Aviator's got a strong back, don't get me wrong. He's pretty good at carrying things, but But Burnt, he probably needed to lose a little bit of weight before the series to perform as well as he has. So fair play to the guys for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Twitch chat, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Here it comes, the all-important deciding game number 5, Abrasiert versus Pi² over 6. Let's go.
Oh, Aviator still has his greed. I nearly forgot. Oh, and so does Julian. The rare greed pick from Julian.
Wow, he probably feels disgusted in himself, by the way, for having to pick greed. If I know Julian well, he wishes he could play almost anything else.
King has a pretty strong YOLO roll. Little Nightmare Canopy action. And Widder's got his favorite Crusher Angler start.
Yeah.
Or his AoE roll that he played last.
Kingdanzz with an interesting YOLO roll there, going for a Nightmare opener. He could also growl into Bunk if that's what he wants, but that's probably a bit too slow for his tastes.
Yeah, I just saw the Legion spells. It doesn't look like anyone has a particularly good roll to take advantage. Maybe Aviator with the gates. But no one has a great sorcerer target. I mean, there's the Halo and potentially the Death Cap, but nothing quite like the Trinity.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the Haven too.
Good luck, have fun coming out from the players.
And it is a AoE roll from Julian. Flower Harpy, Aviator, Green Devil Consort opener.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, pretty solid openers overall.
Widderson on the Flower
Angler.
Angler, which is a very strong opener, actually. It's easy 6 workers. Is it even 7 and still getting your Bounty Hunter on 4? I'm not quite sure.
It's 7 if you like.
Yeah, if you are in the business of pushing workers, which not everyone is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, Aviator adding the Buzz here on 2, just trying to hold in case of a snail resend from Widderson.
I don't imagine we'll see anything like that.
It doesn't
Probably
look like
just
it. He's
4?
saving his Mythium. Alright. So Julian with the Harpy now looking pretty solid. He will still need to add on 3, of course. It's not quite the same power level as, say, Flower and Atom or something like that, where you can quite comfortably, or Flower and Aqua, sorry, where you can quite comfortably go 7 workers and not fear any send on 3. He will have to stay a bit more conservative.
Yeah, Widderson's not pushing. I'm kind of surprised by that.
He's on 6 workers, but yeah, he doesn't want to go up to 7, it seems. And Burnt, oh, he has the seeds to go with his Flower. This is just some obscene AoE damage. Like, just watch how fast this wave 3
And
just
he's shifting
melts.
for the Sky Queen. I like it. Yeah,
He's shifting for the Sky Queen. He probably will just push once he sees this send coming from King.
I'm not sure. It's Julian after all.
Yeah.
Like, he might just still get it, like, just in case.
It looks like he's still going to get it, just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah. I called it.
Did you see what happened to the hoppers in Burnt's lane, by the way? Because I blinked and I missed it.
Yeah, they kind of got deleted. I mean, I'm actually very impressed by this 5-worker Flower opener.
Yeah.
You rarely see it. But Julian is a guy to actually pull it off.
He's doing very, very well. I'm proud of him.
Yeah. Kind of participation medal level proud. Alright. And there is the Sky Queen.
And there is no resend from Kingdanzz, so Julian's going to be pretty hard punished for staying such high value.
On the plus side, he does have some Mythium to send Widderson next.
He does.
That's true. That's true.
Or whenever he chooses, I guess. But I don't imagine he wants to play 11 income for much longer.
Yeah. It's also like his build would have been slightly ugly if he pushed. You gotta give him that. Like, you kind of have to add another flower, which is not really what you want to do.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And it looks like we're going back to that Julian trying to enable Aviator kind of gameplay, right? So Widderson's feeling pressured, he's income sending a lot, but having said that, Aviator actually is leaking a not too small to this 60 income resend from Widderson.
Yeah, it was quite a greedy push by him.
Yeah, I'm guessing the DT just went on the consort.
Which it never should. But I think you just don't hold the 60 here, no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. It's 300 value or so.
And Bernt is still not sending here on wave 5, by the way, so I wonder if it's just going to be a massive wave 6 end, or if he even just goes full try-hard wave 8.
Wave 8 is kind of risky against Bounty, because there's always chances of pin.
Yeah,
especially with the Groll. Oh, Widderson doesn't have a Groll. I thought he did. Did he re-roll? No.
Yeah, but by that time,
roll.
By that time, you often don't have to shift like a lot to get it.
Yeah.
Good read from King. Income King knows that Julian is low workers.
Yeah, I mean, we could see it on wave 4, right?
Yeah.
That no workers have been pushed.
And the Seedlings did the same thing to wave 5 they did to wave number 3, so Bernt easily clearing that up, but he only pushes to 6, so is he just going to save longer still?
Yeah, I mean, Aviator got all the workies he needs.
Yeah. Aviator's pushing workers for both of them, it seems. Holy moly. Julian's trying so hard in this game.
He wants it. What is Widder gonna do with this money? He snailed, but I'm not sure what he wanted the gold for.
Oh, he wanted it for that Berserker, which he knew that he would reroll.
Ah, yeah, of course.
Obviously. But there's no way that Widderson can reach the Kingpin on 7 now, right? So, isn't he just
He has the casket, at least.
He does have the casket.
That, combined with the Aqua and the Flower, might just be enough AoE.
Yeah.
Depending on what Julian sends. If Julian goes for Mole Hermit, it could be a bit rough.
This really has to pay off for Julian now. He's really all in with this Stark play. And it's an Ogre on wave 7. I mean, it is Aviator, it is wave 7, it is an Ogre.
That's huge.
Doesn't King just hold whatever gets set?
I mean, Aviator's just going for a Lizard army, so yeah, King should be completely fine. That is a banana bonk there for Kingdanzz, who's over value. Widderson, though, should go for a bit of a leak, I think.
Yeah, I guess his plan is to try and just kill everything that isn't the Ogre.
Yeah.
Which is reasonable, considering
a reasonable
he's playing
plan,
AoE.
for sure. Yeah. Widderson has 910 value. It is currently wave 7. Let's see if value is enough. He's only minus 30, by the way.
And Aviator's doing a good job taking advantage of the starve. He's 12 workers.
Let's have a look at this Ogre Smash. Those units of Widderson's going down like paper. And the Ogre now onto the Rogue Wave. That goes down in short order. It's going to take a bit longer to kill the Berserker, of course. The Swift Armor tanking the Ogre nicely. He has killed the entire wave, in fact. Everything.
Pretty well for him.
That's probably not worth it.
That's probably not worth it. A 50% leak there. Only the Ogre slipping through the cracks of Widderson. Kingdanzz obviously holding his own lane. And, of course, clearing the Ogre in the mid. So, yeah.
Yeah, not really worth it.
This was King up on 1 into Ogre on 7 from Bernt. And you have to think, like, if he pushed a few more workers earlier with that Flower Seedling power spike that he had on wave 3 and 4, maybe we could have seen more damage dealt, but I don't know, it's risky as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, his hope is that Avi would be scaling harder, but King is almost keeping up with him, so not quite the advantage they wanted.
Yeah, but one thing I will say is that Widderson is playing Cartel, and because of the pressure that Bernt applied in the early game, Widderson's Wave 8 Cartel 75 income. So imagine what's going to happen to him once this game ticks past Wave 10. He's going to be really, really struggling.
Yeah, he might join Julian.
Yeah.
But at least the advantage there is that he would have the better sending order.
Yeah, true. So Julian has effectively taken himself and Widderson out of the game, and now it becomes a question of who can carry hardest, Kingdanzz or Aviator.
Is Widder... Okay, Widder and King saving. Guess Widder got his pin, right?
Widder is 5 gold off his pin, so we'll need to sell a Bone Warrior.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of has
He kind of has
to do
to.
it. Like, there's nothing great he can build.
Meanwhile, King has 2, 6, 8 gold. What does he do with that? He has Gate. Widderson actually sells the one in the split. Okay.
Just a gate, yeah.
Alright, so easy holds for King and Widder against the income King sends. And they do have a decent chunk of pressure now. 200 Mythium saved up on Widderson.
I guess it's 11 then.
Yeah, looking at their builds, 11 is looking pretty nice.
Now we see that Aviator has this Lord of Death hidden away in his role, which is one of the better units you can have on Wave 11.
Yeah. I think he might see it and go Wanderers here, and then go for the LOD next.
Aviator's really selling out his teammate here, just going for income every wave. Julian going for a Growl now. He also goes for a Sky Queen, though. Oh, Julian's actually going to build Sky Queens in a Magician aura, it looks like.
Ooh.
Don't think that's a particularly strong combo, if I'm honest.
Yeah, he's scraping together something. Aviator with a good read, though. He's building a Violet here.
Yeah. Alright, Kingdanzz will be very happy to see this 100 income resend.
Probably
he
not,
may actually
right?
leak to it, but that's just... Oh, it's a shutdown if he does. I was going to say, it's
They'll be
only good
after
for them if they do leak, but...
Ooh, maybe just enough time with the blobs and the gates and whatnot.
There's a Ghost Knight from Widderson into Aviator. And
That is a tough cookie to kill. He has actually no pierce damage.
Oh, that's so close.
Yeah.
Ooh, double GK. GK versus 2 Sky Queens?
It's okay.
It's not bad. It buys time against the flower, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Magician
Magician.
Harpies. They should have moved the King Claw all the way down there, huh?
Yeah. Right, there's...
They have good King.
So
It's
Julian
kinda-
skipped income so that he could do full King upgrades with all of his 8 workers. And Aviator, of course, gets this Lord of Death and a couple of
My lord,
Wanderers.
his value is high.
Oh,
1800.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna be hard. But yeah, the Ghost Knight, I think.
Ghost Knight is very
no.
good against it.
Because it gets reduced damage from auto attacks, and he's not expecting to see more Sky Queens. Like,
The
Negative
Sky
death.
Queens are both just on the Ghost Knight and nothing else.
Wait,
Yeah.
but the
The
Ghost
Sky
Knight is...
Queens? Does it
Who
survive?
wins this?
I think it does
Oh,
just
he
go
killed
down,
one.
but the second one
He
lives.
killed one that's actually pretty good.
And
Ghost
meanwhile,
Knight
if we
went on
look
a
at
mission.
Aviator's lane, okay, Burnt leaks 98%, but that's only a Drake going through. And
I see it.
Aviator, he's leaking as well. Actually, he does get another
Ooh, got
solo,
another spawn.
but
Nah,
it's
it
not...
doesn't make a difference.
They
But...
have got
Yeah,
full King
not really.
upgrades, though. So that's
Yeah,
something
this
to be
is
aware of.
reasonable.
The problem is, look at the
And-
workers.
Yeah, that that is a bit of a challenge.
Yeah,
huh?
that's kind of an issue. Kingdanzz
And-
having more than double the workers of Julian.
Yeah, I mean, that's to be
In the
expected, but
investment?
it's more the gap between King and Aviator that I'm concerned about.
Yeah, true. True.
Well, they're pushing some workies now.
Yeah.
Is this a 13 play from everyone?
It
Like-
probably should be, right? I mean, Widderson's got a
Judging
full
by
shift
their
here,
values,
and he does have the best unit in the game. He has that Phoenix, so obviously the best unit on wave 13 and 15.
Yeah, he even prepped the egg to die as the Phoenix is split. Oh, never mind. He's just doing another egg
here.
I'm surprised he didn't try and hatch the egg last way, or like keep his egg alive.
Yeah,
but
that seems super greedy to me that he built another egg here because, but I mean, Burnt just has no workers, so I guess he can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I mean, I guess King probably told him he holds, so they're not worried, even if it's just to bait the send.
Yeah, that just.
I mean, they have successfully baited the send, so let's see if it works.
I mean, he gets a Theta.
Yeah, I mean, he is definitely gonna leak, but that opens them up for a good counterplay.
Yeah.
Like, they just keep the lithium, and if Kingdanzz actually holds...
Kingdanzz does not hold. Kingdanzz is gonna leak pretty big.
Yeah, the bigger send.
I agree that he will...
Yeah, he will do good enough, hopefully.
Yeah, if he does well, then they're kind of fine with this, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they look for what? Just 14 straight away, or 15?
14? That sounds illegal. I mean, ideally, I think they want 16, even though there is a flower.
Yeah, that does look actually pretty good.
But I think it's too far with how pushed they are.
I think this egg was
pretty big.
Interesting play.
Yeah. Widderson not on fire though, so that's only a 50 gold shutdown. But look at the workers now. Kingdanzz on 25, Widderson on 20. Aviator's on 20 as well, but it's all about Burnt there on 13.
Does King need that many workers?
They're
just going 14. I mean, they just handed over a bunch of gold. I feel like this could be a turning point if there's some magic hidden in Aviator and Burnt's lands.
It might catch Aviator and Julian off guard.
Yeah, if he builds like Hades here.
They definitely didn't send for it, so...
And it's an illegal move, as we all know, to send on the following wave, so...
Of course.
Let's see.
Julian does build the Ocean Templar. He's adding some Badger value. Oh, he's actually selling all of his pixies, so he does read the 14 send. He makes a pretty big commitment there to get that Iron Scales out with the Ocean Templar.
Okay, I was like, Aviator's gonna spend this gold, right? Yeah, and he gets the Samurai Soul, which is pretty strong.
Julian's value is not too great, though.
No.
The sends are
pretty huge. So let's see if Aviator is able to carry here or not. Julian is almost certainly going to get run over. Sky Queens are doing a lot of damage, though, before he goes down. I have to say, they're doing pretty well. Aviator, meanwhile, his Sovereign just pops off.
But is it enough?
I don't know if he holds, but I think they survive, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
With their full king upgrade.
Aviator's holds pretty good.
And now, of course, they have the advantage once again. This is more of the back and forth games that we had early on in the series, where one team makes a send, the other team gets the lead, and vice versa. Which is exactly what we want to see in this match number 5.
That's Super Avenger doing its job on 14 here.
Probably needs another nerf. Alright. So Julian, with his 13 workers here, is doing better than he had in game number 1. I think he was still 10 workers on wave 16 back then. When does the send come, though? They are going to see the death cap now of Widderson. He has rolled that away, however. So do you think Burnt and Aviator read that he's rolled it away, maybe go for a 16 send?
I'm doing a little bit of both, I guess. King is... They are fairly concerned about 15, which is fair. The values don't look great.
King looks pretty weak on 16. I think like he has that one doppelganger, sure, but the rest of his units are pretty weak.
I mean,
16.
It's 600 something myth and no lifesteal on the doppel. Like a centaur could wreck his build.
Yeah. Let's see what Burnt and Aviator decide to do. Julian is full pushing, by the way, up to the giddy heights of 15 workers now. So this is a 16 play. Julian's going to suicide for it. Oh, he goes 16 workers. This is crazy.
17 even.
18. Julian, are you sure?
Oh, that's crazy. He's catching up.
But King and
He's
Widderson,
overtaken Widderson.
King and Widderson, they read this play, they go for a full send of themselves, so they're going for a race. Aviator has 400 gold. What is his best hope to try and hold here? He rolled away the consort, unfortunately, so he goes for a sovereign, good swift tank value, and the Hades certainly can deal damage.
A magician, MPS Hades?
Aviator, please, can you build your last gargoyle? He does.
Wait, he's bringing the centaur left. Oh wait, there's no centaur. What am I talking about?
There is no centaur. The centaur is a lie. All right, this is a pretty exciting race. This is exactly the way I want my game number 5 to end. Widderson did go for a Phoenix reveal here on 16, but it died very quickly to the suicide push from Julian, who of course leaked 127%. It's all down to Aviator now. Can he hold long enough? The sovereigns are popping off. He did get his Hades killed. Bam, bam, bam. Indeed, Widderson is holding on for a very long time. But is it enough? No! Aviator's down!
Aviator leaked first.
Aviator leaked first, but they have 4 king upgrades. This is still super close.
This leaks are bigger.
Oh, lordy.
I think
this
it's
is
so close. Oh!
What?
Who won? I don't know who won.
I also don't. I think King and Winner won. This is such a great final. This is exactly how you would want it to go.
King and Widderson, I think, are the winner.
Yes, King and Winner won. Incredible! What a finish! Can it be any closer than this?
I think it literally cannot be any closer than this.
Yeah, I also think it can't be any closer. I kind of feel bad for Julian and Aviator, to be honest.
Yeah.
It must feel pretty bad to lose a game like that.
Yeah.
But they really shouldn't, because
they played incredibly well. Like game 4 was
to make it this close.
Yeah, game 4 was rough for them, but game number 5 was just insane, and they. I mean, none of us knew who won. We have to double check, like, the sliver of HP left on King and Widderson's King to see that they are the October Nova Cup champions. So congratulations to Team Abrasiert. They are again our champions, and yeah, absolutely devastated for Burnt and Aviator. But like you say, Green, they cannot be ashamed of the way they've played today. This has been a very, very good showing from both teams.
Yeah, and very unlucky. Aviator's Hades, his first dragon, got sniped from the Wanderer. Like, it respawned, dragged everything low enough that it went wrapped onto his Hades, which is his like main damage source.
Yeah,
that's a bit unlucky.
As soon as his Hades went down, he was a little bit doomed, right? Because, like you say, that's his primary source of damage. And a bit of a weird one, because he doesn't have any range units in his split that would cause that to happen. So it must just have been... The Thanatos must have gone on a journey over to the right side of the lane and then pulled the creeps down.
Ooh, yeah, that's not nice. I think if that didn't happen, he had a good chance to
either leak smaller, hold a bit longer.
Yeah, that might have been the difference.
But that's Legion, right?
That's Legion. Let me see if I can get a winner's interview with King and Widderson, who I think are the winners. The October Nova Cup. Man. A good read there for